What up, African family, and welcome to another video of African history, culture, and worldview. And welcome back to my series, African Myth and Legend 101, where I tell various stories from African myth and legend. Today, we're going to tell a Ugandan myth about King Esaza and the king of the underworld. And as always, don't forget to support the home team on patreon.com and go to afrographics.com, a website where you can get helpful illustrative infographics summarizing African history. Links to Patreon and Afrographics are in the description box below. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Nyamiyango, king of the underworld, decided to try to form an alliance with a king on earth and sent messengers to King Esaza. They came and asked the king to show them 6 things: that which brings the dawn, that which falls short, that which binds water, that which causes kings to turn, that which has no wit, and that which ends sorrow. But they did not tell the king what these things were. The messengers withdrew, and the king consulted with his advisors, but they could not make out the riddles of the messengers. King Esaza summoned wise men from all over the region, but none could explain these things. One day, as his queen came worriedly from the consultations of the ministers, she talked to her maid and told her of the challenge from King Nyamiyango of the underworld, and in a moment the young maid said that she could solve the riddle for the king. So the king and his ministers met with the maid, and she showed them what it meant. She had a baby placed on the king's mat, and the baby crawled about and dirtied the skin and overturned a water container. "There," said the maid, "is that which has no wit." Then she showed them a dog with a tobacco pipe and fire. The dog could not light the pipe, but sat there. "There," said the maid, "is that which falls short." Then she filled a pot with water and set it boiling, and then placed it in some millet, and after a time the millet had absorbed all the water. "There," said the maid, "is that which binds water." Then she led them outside and showed them a chicken. "There," she said, "is that which brings the dawn." Then a cow mooed nearby, and the king turned to see it. "There," said the maid, "is that which causes kings to turn." She told them also of that which ends sorrow, but that secret has been forgotten from time. So the king's counselors showed the maiden's items to the messengers of King Nyamiyango of the underworld. The messengers of Nyamiyango explained their king's desire for an alliance with an earthly ruler. The king proposed that they should become blood brothers, each eating a coffee bean soaked in the blood of the other. But King Esaza was wary of this offer, and so gave the bean to a servant rather than eating it himself. But Nyamiyango learned of his deception and was humiliated to think that he had formed an alliance with a mere human servant. So he planned destruction for King Esaza. First, he chose the most beautiful and deceitful woman in all of his underworld court and dressed her in wonderful finery. Her name was Nyamata. She came to King Esaza's court and easily won his attention and then his heart. He wished to send messengers to her kinsmen to formalize their relationship, but she refused. She wished him to come with her, but he was not willing to leave his kingdom. But she persisted. Oh, she persisted. One day, however, they were together when the herds of cattle were brought in from pasture, and the king stood admiring them and didn't even notice when Nyamata went from his side and hardly heard her when she called him. Then he said he could not come because he wished to watch the cows being milked. Realizing that she could not compete with his cattle, Nyamata withdrew into the underworld. There she gave birth to a son. Nyamiyango had discovered his weakness. He sent a pair of magnificent cattle, bull and cow, to Esaza and Isaza took them and loved them. He spent all his time with them, even bringing them into his hut at night. But one night the cows vanished. The next day he went hunting them across the land, and he found their horns sticking up from a bog. He leaped in to try to pull them out, and found suddenly that he had fallen through the earth and was in the underworld. There he was brought before King Inyamuyango, and while at first he was treated well, eventually Inyamuyango reproached him for having tricked him. Then Inyamuyango gave the cattle to Isaza, as well as his wife and child who were there, and told him he was free to leave. But Isaza never found the way out of the underworld, and so was forced to wander there forever. This was the end of the kings who were gods. Well, I'm all out, guys. If you like these videos and want to help out in its continued production, you can do so on patreon.com. The link is in the description box below. Know thyself. Remember your ancestors. Peace.